Yo, what's poppin', Bagel Bros, and welcome back to another Patreon rant. If you want one of these for yourself, be sure to give me $10 on Patreon. This one comes from Dane, who says, rant about something you are passionate about. What do you want to see change in? So, there's a lot of places I could take this. It's a very wide-spanning, worldly topic. I could talk about global warming. I could talk about Trump needs to be out of office, in case it wasn't obvious what my stances are on that. Any number of political or meaningful things that actually mean a thing, right? But instead, I want to talk about something that I think not many people think about. A lot of people just sort of take it for granted that this is the way the world works. But I really think that we need to abolish time zones. So, first of all, everyone agrees that daylight savings time is bullshit. Twice a year, we change the clocks. We go forward and then we go back. It's like the cycle of piss. You drink water and then your body rejects the water and pisses it all out. And then, twice a year, we turn the clocks forward just to turn them back literally like 6 months later or something. I'm not counting all that. I think it's more than 6 months. But the point is, we just fuck with the clock so much for no reason. Like, sure, it technically, it was originally invented to save electricity, but everybody likes daylight savings time more. Everyone wants us to stay on daylight savings time all the time, because when you turn the clocks back, all of a sudden, because when you turn the clocks back, all of a sudden, it's dark at 4 p.m. And all of a sudden, it's like, what? Like, as soon as I get back from, for most people, it's their job. They get back at 5 p.m., they work their 9 to 5, and then they get back home and it's fucking dark. They can't even go on a walk outside and see the sun. So you spend every single moment of every single day at work, and then, the daylight is all gone by the time you get home. It's bullshit. And, I work on a similar schedule, so I wake up, start working at 10, finish work by 5:30, and I do that 6 days a week. And then by the time I finish, in winter months, it's all gone. All the daylight is gone because we fucking turned the clocks back. But that's the part that everyone agrees with. Everyone agrees that we should keep the clocks consistent, but what I really think should go is time zones, because there is no benefit to having time zones in the internet age. I know what you're thinking, but it's gonna be so weird to wake up at 2 p.m. No, it isn't. No, the fuck it isn't. Everyone's gonna get used to it. Furthermore, right, here's another thing we should abolish. While we're abolishing time zones, we should also get rid of AM and PM. Everyone should be on military time. It's way simpler. 000 to 23:59. Way better system of time. I say, 2 p.m., 2 a.m., I go by that because that's just what I've grown up with. But if we all changed it, if we all just agreed that this was better, then we would get used to it. Online conversations would be like, hey, when do you wake up? Oh, I wake up at 17 o'clock. Oh, wow, that's crazy. What a weird time zone. I wake up at 5 a.m. Or, we would have abolished a.m., but, he'd say, oh, well, I wake up at 5. Oh, I wake up at 13. And everyone knows exactly what time we're talking about. Instead of having a 9 to, what would it be, 17 in military time? Instead, it could be like you're 10 to 18, you're 11 to 19. It could be anything, everywhere, all at once, right? Because time zones just make things needlessly convoluted, because different time zones not really celebrate, but they use daylight savings time. They do it at different days. They spring forward at different times, but then other places don't. Arizona doesn't do daylight savings time except for certain places in Arizona, I'm pretty sure. Other places don't. There's one province of Canada that doesn't do daylight savings time, I believe. And so, but they're in EST, but they're always on EST. So while everyone else in the world in that time zone goes to EDT, they're still EST, and it's very, very fucking convoluted. And it's like, we could fix all of this by just saying, all right, there's one time zone, and that time zone should obviously be UTC, right? I make a lot of jokes about how Central Time is the objectively correct time zone. Oh, it's CT, it stands for correct time, because that's the time zone I live in. It's a silly joke. But realistically, we've already agreed that UTC is the quote-unquote objective right time zone. That's what every other time zone is defined by. We all say, well, CST, that's UTC minus 6. EST is UTC minus 5. GMT is, actually, I think GMT is UTC, but then there's British summertime, I believe. It's BST. That would be UTC plus 1, if I'm getting that correctly. I'm not entirely sure. But the point is, literally, this is like everything gets so much simpler when you just say, hey, one time zone, one set of 24 hours, no ambiguity between AM and PM, no ambiguity between time zones, no ambiguity with daylight savings time. We should stop fucking with the clock and just say, here's the time. Because in the internet age, we're all increasingly intermingled, increasingly talking to people across the globe. There's a very real practical purpose for getting rid of time zones. You know, time zones are objectively archaic. They come from a time when Actually, now that I think about it, I don't know when time zones started being a thing. But the point is, like, they weren't made for the internet age. You know, now that we're so global and so fucking, like, everyone's talking to each other. Like, I talk to people from Great Britain, from fucking France, you know, from the Philippines. Or not Philippines, Indonesia rather. Actually, I think I also talk to people from the Philippines. The point is, we're all across the globe. We're all constantly talking to people across the globe from us. There is very real utility to getting rid of this. Now, is this actually going to happen? No. Is it particularly useful to actually try and vie for this as a, you know, political talking point? Literally, no. There are so many more useful things to talk about, like the fucking pedophile in office who diddled little girls and got away with it. All the various rich people from all across the world who diddled little children and got away with it. And, you know, the people who can prosecute them aren't doing anything about it because they have so much power. And, you know, there are still redacted Epstein files. There are still Epstein files that should be out that aren't out. Everything is, you know, everything be fucked. There's this guy in office who's starting a war in Iran, making naked land grabs everywhere he can, etc., etc. Like, it goes on and on. Like, there's so many actual meaningful problems in the world. But sometimes it feels good to just rant about how fucking stupid time zones are, let's be real. Anyway, that's about it. See ya.